So, in one of the worst cases of bureaucracy I've ever seen, and in one of the stupidest cases I've ever seen, I think it's fair to say that the local county in my country has reached a new low. Really. Because this is the worst. It's just so bad. It's so incredibly bad on so many levels. And really, no words that I could use can do this justice. Really. It's that bad. Now, I'm just gonna explain to you quickly the situation, and then you can judge for yourself. I think that's the best. So essentially, here's what happened. In some local township in a small town, there's a lot of hiking trails, forest trails, etc. that the general public can use. There's also a lot of cabins that you can reserve. You can book a cabin, you can stay there for the weekend, whatever. And they're meant for the general public. Now it's the local township's duty to maintain these hiking trails, but nothing is being done. So a man, out of the goodness of his heart, decided that he wanted to help out. So he thinned down the forest, the overgrown forest that would extend into the trail. When you're walking in a trail and there are trees and bushes and twigs, shrubs everywhere, right? It's annoying. So this fella decided to chop down some trees, thin out the woods, thin out the forest, etc., right? To make the hiking trails, to make the forest trails a little bit more convenient to walk in. And also, it would get people more wood, because he then decided to cut these trees and the shrubs and whatever into firewood. And he wanted to donate this firewood to the local cabins so that people could use them. So the guy stored the firewood in various bags in some public property owned by the township, which, by the way, nobody was using. Nobody was using this land, this property. Nothing was being done. Obviously, this is a very, very positive thing. I think he said he spent hours. He said he said he carried 110 bags of wood up some steep hill, whatever. Because that property was close to the cabins, which were in the mountains. So it was quite far, right? He had to walk for probably for several miles. So anyway, instead of paying the man for doing some good, honest work in lieu of the local township not doing theirs, the county public office, whatever you want to call it, like the county office that's above the local township office, decided to issue a fine of $13,000 because it was using, I don't know, public land to store the wood. It's so bizarre and dumb, words can't do it justice. And this is really where persuasion needs a lever. Because I preach about persuasion, I preach about using persuasion to make money. This is where you have to use a lever behind your persuasion. A lever as in taking this matter to court. Because obviously, the guy just wanted to help out, and now the state is coming after him and they're issuing him a fine. Obviously, I'm not saying that he should go to court, but really, part of me hopes he does, because hopefully there is some sense in a judge or a panel of judges that see past this madness, because it's so dumb. It's really void of all logic. There is no logic here. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually a little bit, not even a little bit. I'm very, very emotional when it comes to this, because it's so dumb. This is what makes people stop believing in their country as a whole, right? This is why people are moving away. The high taxes, increased crime, etc. You're not getting, you don't feel safe, and now this. when you want to help out, the state is coming after you? What's going on here? Now, in closing, I'll say this. Like I said, persuasion works, but there needs to be some force. There needs to be there needs to be some, what's the word I'm looking for here? I forgot the word, but it doesn't really matter. There needs to be some sort of a lever. There needs to be some sort of force behind your persuasion for it to work. And this is one of those cases where you need, I don't know, maybe a public GoFundMe to help the guy pay the fine, whatever, or take this matter to court. And that's it. I really hope these bureaucrats burn in hell. Really. It's not a nice thing to say, but that's literally what they deserve. If you want to learn more about sales and persuasion in business, get subscribed to my email list. The link to do so is below the app subscription wherever you're watching or listening to this, and I'll see you there.